Hey guys, welcome to or back to our channel. Today I want to talk about another ARC that I received. An ARC is advanced reader copy. Publishers send out copies of books before the release date just to try to get some interest and build some hype around the book. So they want people to read these books and review them. I always appreciate my ARCs and I try to read and review all of them. So today we're going to be talking about a new author. This is her debut novel. I would classify this as urban fantasy, and it's called Ink Blood Sister Scribed by Emma Torres. This book has already been released. It came out on May 30th, so I'm a little behind. I try to get all of my reviews done before the release dates, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. But I have read this book, and I just want to talk about it for a minute. The cover, I think, is very pretty. I think it gives you a little bit of information of what the book could be about, but obviously with the scribe, and you see like a pen right here with the stem of the pen is like some kind of plant or herb, so obviously a little bit of magic going in there. But I think this is a very good debut novel. I would be really interested in reading more of Emma Torres novels when they come out. So we're following a family that guards these magical books. And in this family, there's a dad, a stepmom, and two sisters. And the dad ends up dying in the very beginning of the book. His name is Abe, and he ends up dying because he touches this book and it sucks all the blood out of his body, and he's left dead. And after that happens, the family kind of falls apart. He had a wife who moved out of the house. He has the youngest of his daughters that lives in the house currently. She's been tasked with maintaining the home and keeping the home secret. They live behind these wards, so the house is protected by magic where no one can see the house or knows where it is, because inside this house is a whole bunch of magical books that are very like a hot commodity. There's people searching that know about the people that know about these books are searching for them and want them for their own purposes. So the youngest sister has to live at this house, and she rarely ever goes out of the house, and she has to every night be back by a certain time. I think it's like around 7 or 9 in the evening to rebuild these wards around the home and keep it secret. The older sister is Esther, and her mother was actually killed by the people hunting these books. And every year in November, she has to move to keep moving around the world so that they cannot track her. They're using magic to try to track her, and she has to keep moving. Or else they'll find her and kill her, and they'll kill her sister. She is trying to outrun these people that killed her mom that are hunting for her. And so you're following the point of view of both the sisters. And the third point of view that you're following is a guy named Nicholas. He lives in London in this place called the Library with his uncle Richard and a lady named Miriam, and they have a trove of magical books, probably the biggest library trove of these magical books in the whole world, and they're constantly looking for more books to add to their collection. And Nicholas is actually a scribe, so he can write these magical books, and there are very few people in the world that can do this. So you're kind of following him. He is very guarded and protected. His uncle is very protective of him. He actually has a bodyguard that follows him around, and he's not allowed off of the library grounds, which is also protected with magic. So you're kind of following these three point of view characters, and it's very creative and interesting how these worlds intertwine and how the magic is presented in this world through these books, and who can write them and who can read the spells and who's immune to them. And this is just it's a very magical, very well written book. I felt like a part of it was a little slow burn. I wanted a little more action in my books. I love thrillers, like gripping thrillers and fantasy books where there's just a lot of action, a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like this book would have been just the very highest level if there would have been a little bit more of that. There is a lot of action, but it just feels like a little bit of a slow burn. But I loved this book. It was very well written, and I'm very excited to see what this author comes out with next.